In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 easiest pro level editing hacks that you can start doing right away that will instantly level up your real estate videos. So let's start with the first one, which is to put 3D text behind your client.
So we've got this clip on the timeline, and let's give it a quick listen to see where we can add some cool text behind him.
Have you heard of Greenbrier Terraces community in Garden Grove, California? If not, listen up. Why? Because we have a
Okay, so I think Greenbrier Terraces is a good place where we could add text. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this on. I'm just getting the basic text that Final Cut has, and I'm going to drop it on the timeline. And so we're going to go ahead and change the text to Greenbrier Terraces. And then we're just going to make the text larger. And I think what I want to do is, if I have all this text behind him, then it's going to be obscured a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reposition this maybe somewhere around there. And then the goal is, obviously we want to get this text behind him. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually hide this real quick. I'm going to hit V to hide that. And let's see where we want to actually have the text show up.
Have you heard of Greenbrier Terraces community in Garden Grove, California?
Okay, so that's probably the amount of time that I want to have Greenbrier Terraces on screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the main clip here by hitting Command B, and I'm going to duplicate it by hitting Option, by holding down Option, and then clicking and dragging this clip up. And then what we'll do is we're going to go to our effects and look up magnetic mask, and then drop the magnetic mask on him, and make sure we've got him selected properly. And that looks pretty good. It doesn't have to be perfect because our text is going to be right around this area. So even if it's a little messed up down here, it's not really going to matter. But if you wanted to refine it, you can hold down Option to subtract some area, and then let go of Options. It's going to add some area. You see a little plus sign right there, and add a shoe. But I don't think we need it. It's not really going to matter. And then from there, what we're going to do is hit Analyze. And it's going to analyze everything from this entire section that we've selected. And now we're going to hit Done. And now we're going to turn on our text. And what we're going to do is we're going to drag the text in between these two layers. And now you can see the text
Greenbrier Terraces community
is behind the person. And then what we can do with the text, if you want to make the text stand out, we'll scroll down and hit 3D, and then increase the depth. So then we would just want to drag this out here so it turns off by the time this clip is done.
California. If not, listen up. Why?
So some other things that you can do, Motion VFX also has expansion packs. So these are really cool, but this is a paid subscription. Here's one that I like to use, Title 31.
Have you heard of Greenbrier Terraces community in Garden Grove, California? If not,
so obviously it's a little more punchy, with this, and there's more options here, but again, it's a paid service. So if you're just starting out, you can definitely get by with the free stuff that comes along with Final Cut. But again, just something to think about for when you're ready to invest. Next up, we have our open door transition. So I'm going to bring this clip on the timeline. And it's actually just one clip, one long clip that we're going to use, where I'm walking forward. And then I have another shot where we're holding the door open. You can do this by yourself. It's a little more tricky, but it's definitely doable. I happen to have my photographer with me, so it ended up working out well. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bump up my exposure on this clip. It's a little bit off. I think that looks good. So all we're going to do is we're going to get a couple of pieces from this clip that I want to use. So I like this right here. I want to use that spot, and I'm going to hit Command B to cut it because we're going to use that part. And then the only thing we're going to use here is Yeah, we tried to get this shot by having her move out of the frame. I probably would not have been able to get this shot without if she had not been there, because that refrigerator door just kept closing. So what we did was just had her open the door and hold it and hide behind the island. And all I need from this shot is just a still frame. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this right here. And then I'm going to get rid of this whole entire section. And we're going to use these two sections. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to have this shot be in reverse. So it's going to zoom out. And then we're going to stop and show this. And then we're going to have it zoom in again. So I'm going to do that by slowing the footage down. I shot this at 120 frames a second, so I can slow it down by 75%. But if you were shooting at 60 frames a second, you could slow it down by 50% and achieve basically the same thing. So I slowed it down, and now I'm going to reverse the clip by hitting Shift W. I'm going to come to where I want it to start slowing down, which is like right here. And I'm going to hit Shift B for a speed break. And I'm going to speed up the first half of this clip by 20%. By 20 times, excuse me. And then I'm going to drag this ease handle over, and we'll see what that looks like. And it's a little wonky at the beginning. So if that ever happens, what you'll need to do is, you can't see the ease handle on this side, but it's there. When you see that little bracket show up, when you hover over it, that means it's ready to grab your ease handle. So I'm going to click and drag it over just a little bit. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so that looks good to me. Right around there is where I want to have the refrigerator open, I think. Somewhere around there. So now we need to line up these two clips. The only thing I want from this is I just want to create a still frame. I'm going to select this clip, go to the beginning, and I'm going to hit Option F, and that creates a still frame of this. And then I'm just going to delete this section because I don't need it anymore. And now all I want to do is make sure that these are lined up. So I'm going to scale this up just a little bit. And then I probably need to move it over. Maybe scale up just a little more. These are slightly different perspectives because I changed my camera height, but I think that will work. And so I'm good with that. Once we put a transition over it, you're not really going to notice it quite as much. And so now what we need to do is we're going to do two things. One, we're going to copy this and put it on the other side. So I'm going to hit Option, hold down Option, and click and drag this over here. And then I'm going to make this a compound clip by hitting Option G. And then I'm going to hit Shift W to reverse it. So now we've got this coming in, got our freeze frame, and then we got it going back out. So we're going to add some effects to this. And for that, I'm going to use Ryan Nagle's shake effects. And so I'm in the effects panel right here. And you can use this on horizontal video as well as vertical video. You just want to make sure that you're using the appropriate one, or else it's not going to work correctly. So for this, we're using it for horizontal video. And I'm going to click over here on this edge, and I'm going to use the bounce effect. And we'll see what that looks like. That's cool. I kind of want to speed it up a little bit and not have it last quite as long. So I'm going to change this to 15. And this one to 15 as well. I'm also going to change the length of time down to 5 on the vertical, and the length of time to 5 on the horizontal. And we'll see what that looks like. I think that looks good. And then we're just going to bring this down so we don't need this to last quite that long. And then we'll do the same thing on this side to add the bounce effect. And I think for this one, I'm not going to change it. I'll just leave it to its original format. So that will add a little bit of variety between both of these shakes. So let's see what that looks like. Nice. And the next one, what we're going to do is the boomerang and zoom through effect. So for this, I've got two clips. I've got this clip and I've got this clip right here. This, we're going to have this go from here to here and then how to do the opposite effect. So let's first make our zoom through. And the way we're going to do that is we're just going to pick a spot where we want to start accelerating up into this clip. I'm actually going to slow this clip down. Now I'm going to make my speed break somewhere around here by hitting Shift B. And I'm going to speed up the back half of this by 20 times. Grab my ease handles. And then I'm going to speed ramp this as well. It'll be right there. Speed up the first half of this. We'll see what that looks like. That looks good. So now we've got our zoom through effect, and then what we want to do is we want to have it boomerang. So all we're going to do is we're going to grab this clip and we're going to duplicate it by holding that option and clicking and dragging it over. And then we're going to make it a compound clip by hitting Option G and then reversing it by hitting Shift W. And so now it'll go backwards. And we're going to do the same thing with this clip. Option and bring it over here and make it a compound clip and then hit Shift W. So it gives you the same effect. Obviously, you could play around with like a lot of these parameters and see, what looks good. You might want to, when you're doing this, maybe have it go from this clip into here and then reverse this clip and then go into another section of the house, like maybe the kitchen or something where you can have it going backwards, but just in a different area. So this is pretty simple, straightforward. Again, the ways you can sort of like spice this up is by adding some motion blur to all of these. Adding sound effects. Of course, you want to make it go along with the music. And you want to make sure that it's not too loud. So I'm going to dial this down some. And on these zoom through transitions, when you're going forward, another thing that you can do to really drive the point home is right angle actually has this zoom in effect as well. And we've got zoom in 1 and zoom in 2. And if we add these right here, zoom 1 to the beginning, zoom 2 to the second one, it will actually make it look like it's pushing even further through the frame. Only works when you are doing it on a clip that's going when you're walking forward. You can't use this on a clip going backward. It doesn't work.
If you're looking for a guide on what shots you need for a property video shoot, I have a free one that I'll link below. And if you want to see how to edit an entire social media reel, then you're definitely going to want to watch this video right here. And if you like this video, be sure to comment below and hit subscribe to see more content just like this.